and then you can learn more, meet more people during your scientific community, and this is really good for your career. So I would say this is a golden recommendation or suggestion. And then I told her that I also look around US, but I have an idea that I want to move to Europe for this postdoc short term. And she quite encouraged me. So that ended up with, I began to connect with European supervisor. I first narrowed down to University of Vienna in Austria because actually I know that first they have some collaboration with my former institute. Also, the atmosphere of quantum is quite good here. And then I actually hesitated between several of my supervisors, and then I narrowed down to the project. So my current project, what it's doing is still under quantum optics or narrow quantum photonics. So what I did before is continuous wave because LIGO is using continuous wave. I hope this is not too technical for non-physicists, but basically before I did light more as a wave, which is continuous. And now I'm doing single photons, which is light as one each photons, which is particles. So I thought, okay, that's something different. But at the same time, I'm still quite interested in fundamental physics, gravitation physics. So I suddenly found this project under Professor Philip Waters' group. And what he has a side project doing is, so he is an expert actually in single photons. And then he had this project under his group that is using the single photon as a technique, and then again detect the gravitational effect. So this is, when I see this project, I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. So this gives me interest. And also he is also interested in me because I have similar background and he has collaboration with US. So I would say this is quite compatible for both of us. If any suggestion I can give like in front of the screen as find the supervisor first, the project you should be interested. Well, we are applying for a Mercury Fellowship, that's true, but at the same time, we want to do great science. You should enjoy your time, like as a postdoc, even after, no matter whether you get this fellowship or not, well, best luck that you can get that, but even not, you should look for a supervisor the same as you look for any postdoc. So find an interesting project first and find a supervisor that you like. And also you should communicate as him or her, like also the group. He or she should introduce a whole group to you and you should communicate with the whole group with the future colleague that you will work on. So that's also an important part. So that's my experience. So I moved a little bit, but I'm still doing the medium, like the connection part between quantum and gravity. So that's my current project. In the future, I'm still looking for my perfect direction. But I think I prefer to stay in similar direction because I'm open to learn more like techniques or physics. Yeah.
Thank you for this introduction. I'm sure you could be talking for hours and hours, and I probably won't be able to follow you after the first 30 seconds because it's definitely like a very expert kind of field. But thank you for this presentation. I thought the explanation about the light wave and like single photons was needed. But I think also like you shared a couple of very interesting points about how important is to have a supervisor that guides you like the one you had before, and a supervisor that really like appreciates you and like I guess also communicate a lot of his passions and says, look, fellowships or not, we need to do great science together, and so you need to get on board and work with the research group. So I think these are like common elements, whatever field of research you are, and you should try to get to fit and check these boxes to be happy and to be successful and do your research the best way that can possibly be done, I guess. And so yes, it was interesting to hear about your research project, and you have had experience with this research team in Vienna at Vienna University for a little while now, because you arrived before actually starting your postdoctoral fellowship, isn't it? So I was thinking maybe you can tell us a little bit more of how you like life in Vienna, that you told us already a bit, and how is like working with this research team. You decided to move to Europe, and I feel you're quite satisfied, and you think it's it's quite an exciting environment to be in. So, do you have anything to tell us or to share about this experience, how it has been so far?
Okay, sure. So actually, this is a little bit wide question. Let me
It
rephrase
is.
a little bit first. So my experience was I moved to Vienna first. So that happened last year, October. So the thing is, I connected and I talked with the supervisor here first, and I told him that, okay, I want to become a postdoc here, and at the same time, I want to apply for the Mercury Fellowship. And he is quite great and nice. Well, that depends on case by case. So, I mean, my example is maybe not that typical, but it's also a way that people can consider is I contact with him, and he is a kind of group that eager for new postdocs. So he need people to work as early as possible. So he said, all right, you can come first and you can enjoy the group to look around and then apply for your Mercury Fellowship. And it's, even if you don't get this fellowship, you can stay in the group as like, you can also stay as a group. Um, so I was not that big pressured. And at the same time, I have time to find out how the group looks like. And also after coming here, I can talk in person with him and also the whole group to help me with this proposal. I can show my proposal to my colleagues and say, see, this is my proposal, that fits the whole group. And is this part of work that I can work on? Is this realistic? And what kind of resources you have, and also who I will work with colleagues, because this is quite, well, I found this is quite important for the proposal writing, because we need every details, the resources from the university, what equipment I have, who I will work with, even with names, how many meetings I have, what conferences I will attend for. So this is quite good for me to form a big picture and plan for the future. And also it's quite good when I was here in person that I can taste this group like in person. So this is what happened. I think this answered the first part of the question. So I moved here first, and then I applied for the fellowship with support. And one more maybe suggestion and point is I strongly recommend the potential candidates to communicate with former fellows. So people who already got this fellowship. So they really kind of know why they success, and also what's the shortcomings of their proposal. Well, if they can show some examples of your, I'm not sure like whether this is appropriate to say here, but if they can show you the proposal with needn't to be that private, including the private information, but they can show you the form, like this is what I did and how much effort I paid for. And what, even the evaluation, like what's my strengths, what's my weakness, you should improve for, and what you should avoid. So this point is really important. Okay, I will transfer to the topic of the atmosphere. Well, it's still a very big question because for different countries and also different groups. What I found right now is I find Europe is more open to collaboration, or even, well, at least for my own group or my small atmosphere here, because maybe another reason is I'm doing interface between quantum and gravity, and this field is a field that is not well developed. So the theorists and the experimentalists are still quite isolated. They didn't communicate enough before. And for experiment, it's still an open field. Which means there are many theories, but we don't know which theory is that clear to do. So it is really important for people to communicate, to talk with each other, especially between, like break the window between the theory and the experiment. So what I found here is, for example, my current group, the supervisor is very open to collaboration. Well, in the US, I don't mean people do not collaborate, but maybe LIGO is also another untypical example, is because LIGO itself is already a more self-contained collaboration. So the people I know, the conference I attend, are more within LIGO collaboration. So I didn't jump out that much to the big field, say atomic molecular optics, or the larger conferences. So I feel this is a really great, like the one of the great points that I felt after I come here. Another point is diversity. Diversity for both for me, like for my experience, because if you experience several countries, you can feel, well, I would say there's no one single place that is perfect. You always find at some place you feel, oh, I'm so happy with these points. And some other places, I'm not that happy with, or it's not suitable. But by changing places, you can actually discover all these, because if you stay at one place, you actually don't know like what you are enjoying and what you are suffering. And if you change to another place, you find, okay, maybe what I experienced before can be different. So I do encourage people to change several groups and experience different culture. Well, for me, I didn't know German before, and I'm trying to learn some German. This is also new for me, like to learn a second different language. Um, and also I found science here in the Europe prefer, well, it accepts more fundamental stuff, because the fellowship encouraged people more mobility and develop the candidate's career itself, but not say you have to publish how many papers or you have to make something out. So I feel this is quite good, that I can enjoy my science more pure and needn't to worry about too much on like how much paper I publish, or well, I will still try hard to generate something, but I'm saying this will make me more calm, like to do what I like. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, for sure. Thanks. Like this final point, I guess, is also like a fundamental point for all those who are like thinking of applying. You know, applying for this kind of fellowships might be competitive and so takes a lot of your time. But then if you succeed, then hear out how soon you are not forced to publish at all costs, but these fellowships are meant for you to also enjoy your science and focus on you and your career development. So it's quite cool. And I wanted to say that I agree with you so much also when you talk about diversity and experiences, the experience of in different countries, different environments and different culture, how enriching that can be. So apply for a Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship and experience Europe. That is going to be my invitation. But please let's continue with you how soon for a little bit because I think also the fact that you applied only once for postdoctoral and you already got it, is quite a thing itself. So what I wanted to
No, the
ask
connection is
you
bad. I was not sure
is
whether it's me or her. Looks like it's more on her, right?
as well.
So Anna, I think we're having trouble hearing you.
Which
Do you?
kind
Is
of
there everything okay with the internet connection?
support and guidance?
Hello, Anna.
Oh, you can
It
still
looks like
hear
we
me,
might have lost her.
Hado, right?
You know, Haosun. I was worried that it was like my connection here in China, but I see it's both of us.
Yeah, I think it's on her side. But I partially heard her question.
Got
Maybe I can try. And at the same
and
time, maybe you can work with her on reconnect.
Yeah. Let me just see. Let me see if I if we can get her. Well, in any case, let me take over then for us for a second. So first of all, thank you
Okay.
so much for sharing all of your information. And let's see if we can get Anna to get back online in a second. Anna, I'm having a huge issue. Yeah, she's talking to me on WeChat. Are you there? I'm frozen. It's difficult, but that's fine. That's just how these things are. So
Yeah, all right.
I knew I like. Is there anything like any sort of final thing that you would like to share with Chinese researchers that are interested in coming to Europe to do a Marie Curie fellowship? I know that you've been in Europe for a while and so on, but maybe I don't know if you have any insights or something, some good tips for them, sort of to end today's interview.
Yeah, some suggestion is, well, I think partial of Anna is asking me, like, because this is my first time applied and luckily I got it. Uh, and suggestion is I would encourage everyone that is interested and also qualified to apply. Well, this maybe needed to emphasize more. Uh, and okay, several suggestions. The first one is prepare it as soon as possible that you can. Begin to connect with your colleagues or former fellows and your potential supervisors. That's one suggestion. And the second one is uh, please read like the directions of the website or the organization, because what I found actually is everything is already written very detailed, but sometimes we just blend it somehow that we don't see it. So the every sentences in the direction is not just there for showing, but it's just direction that we should follow for a proposal. And the other ones is, well, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm open for more discussion or suggestions if you want to contact with me for more information. Um, and well, actually, everyone knows that Mercury is a great honor with great experience. So try to do it and do your best. Um, I'm not, well, I hope, well, maybe at the end is I hope the organization, like although you can give more this kind of interview, because I'm kind of only one of them. So students or the Chinese researchers can hear more examples. Like say if doing PhD in China before, or if doing PhD in another European country, that would be also helpful for them. So I really appreciate this opportunity to give my experience, and yeah, very good luck to all potential candidates.
really happily surprised how much details it went into, and I think it's actually a super useful and interesting for people that are thinking about applying for this fellowship. I know that there are hundreds of people.
Thanks.
Transitioning her back in. Hey, Anna.
Hey, Halder.
Okay, so
thanks for taking over. The technology really abandoned me today.
Yep, there we are. So I think actually, like what I was trying to do at the end, where I tried to switch over to myself for a little bit, actually failed because I just noticed I was muted the whole time. But I had a lot of amazing words for maybe 5 minutes, where I was talking about how great Houghton was, and actually also about how amazing the video podcast can be. So one of the big new things, if I just repeat myself, for those of you that are actually watching, one of the great big things about this format, where we are streaming through our own sort of website, is that we can actually now start to share it inside of our VJUD groups, inside our VJUD channel. And in the future, I would just like to see the whole community get involved, you know? I see no reason why we couldn't have people like chatting with us on VChat and we could show it on the screen at the same time, or get like people like calling in, or if people want to like share what they're up to, they can let us know beforehand. Maybe we can have like a special WeChat group for this. There's just so many things that we can do. And while the technology was not perfect, I think we managed to catch all of the interview with Hudson, which was obviously the main goal of today. But also, I think also there were some other brighter points. I was watching the stream and this new streaming format that we're using, and it was actually higher quality than we've had ever before. So that's actually super good. So besides no sound for a long time, internet connection in Bergamo failing for a minute or two, I think everything else went pretty well. What else? Maybe, yeah, I was thinking we could like tell them a little bit about the newsletter, right, Anna? We have a newsletter coming out in a week or two. There's going to be some interviews there as well with Marie Curie fellows, right?
Yes, exactly. The newsletter will probably come out in the first half of this month. And we have the interviews with other two Marie Curie fellows who are about to start their fellowships, one in Finland and one in the UK. And so they decided to share with us their experience in applying, and really they have quite a few tips and advice for those of you out there who are applying right now. So don't miss those. I think there could be like really interesting things to learn from these two fellows.
Yeah, so like definitely keep in touch with that. We will also be talking about our upcoming survey. We might be discussing some other things about the Marie Curie, but all of this is going to be sent out in our news flash note that we send to all the community through an email, as well as our WeChat groups, etc. So just stay tuned, and I hope that you enjoyed today's interview. So we'll be uploading this soon up onto Yoku and YouTube. So for those of you that weren't able to catch it today, I hope you're watching the recording right now. And if any of you would like to like catch again what Hudson was saying, you should be able to see this on the Yoku page, or rather, we will probably try to embed it in our news article on our website. So let's leave it at that. I think if we just stop today at this point, there's probably not going to be a lot of more technical difficulties. Let's stay when we're still ahead, right, Anna?
Yes, let's stop it here. But it was quite something. I think it was very interesting. So thanks, thank you, Halder, for keeping up with the failure of the technology. And see you all next time.
No problem. All right, so that's it for today. Bye bye.
Bye bye.